So basically, I just want to share what I've been thinking for so far this past month. Just for fun, I had this idea for a movie that I wanted to make for years, but never gotten to it. But I really like to draw. I've been drawing comics, so I figured why not just turn it into a comic? Thinking around 11 or 106 page comic. I got like 11 here, and yeah, just figured I'd share just in this video. This would be like the first page where it shows like blank. This is the title of it, Gizmo Games. Just a blank screen, black screen with the title. You see some light hitting on it, and then it's revealed that it's like a little banner that's just on the floor all messed up. See a little somebody making their way, getting a backpack. You see the person all backlit and everything with the shadows and the flashlight. And here, along with his friend, you know, if this were a movie, it'd be like, you know, a close up with them, and then the camera would pan out or spread out to reveal the whole room, which is very old, decrepit. It's supposed to be like an arcade because you see like, you know, arcade machine, arcade cabinet, image of Pac-Man, but it's more seen better days. And I really watched a lot of and saw a lot of the imagery from Sin City movie and the comic, where it's just all black and white, light and shadow. I just really liked it, and it tells a lot without having a whole lot of color. It was more impactful, and so this was more my attempt to really do that. I really like to do that a lot. I don't want to just do like the outlines and color. I really like to take like if you've seen like a couple of videos before. If you've seen a couple of videos before, I really like, once I get everything all outlined and everything, take like, you know, one of these fat Sharpies and just kind of scribble out all that I got, all that needs to be, you know, darkened, and just kind of have fun with that. Not to say that there isn't a lot of talent to be made for when you put color or when you put depth into like color or whatever, but this really appeals to me a whole lot more. And I mean, you can easily tell that, you know, who these characters look like, but, you know, not a whole lot, because, you know, it's still backlit. And I keep this up for a little bit as more characters keep appearing, as they continue on. And here, this one, I really liked. This is what I really like about doing with just black and white, because you could just really tell a lot without using a whole lot of detail. Like here, I just was having one character showing another one where the office of this old building was, and in my mind, I'm thinking like, how would a whole building would distinctly look? How would it, if you were to build this, how would it look like? And I was thinking of it doing it like that, but then at first I wasn't sure if I wanted to do just full black and white, but when I went ahead and did it, and when I carved out this little shape, I just thought, yeah, this really was how I did it, because you can easily tell what's really going on with right here. Like, you see these two guys, one of them is making complete distance. It says right, offices, employees only. So I really like it. And not much else to say about this one. It's still more just kind of like talking heads. That's sort of the idea, because you see most of these characters, you know, you don't really see their faces technically, but they're the ones talking a lot. All the while, we see one character who we do see, you know, fully faced or whatever, but they don't talk. That's sort of the impression I was getting. But yeah, it really, more or less, this is where I really liked about here is you can tell like I like to play with shadows here, because I was going for like old black and white movies like noirs or old monster movies where where the shadows don't really have to make a whole lot of sense. It just has to show dynamics, I guess. And also I was trying to portray sort of like how everyone is in this situation. So you see like this shadow, you see his shadow, which is sort of which is just sort of towering over like the two other figures and their shadows. Like it's just sort of giving you an idea of like who's really in charge, or who's got really the most power, or has the most, telling you without really saying anything. And what was important to show that, because the reason I added with this page is because I started out on this page first. And as you can see on the front page right here, somebody, out of shot saying you're not going to find anything. This person's shadow is towering over him and his shadow. So it's giving, and he has trying to give sort of a shocked look on his face right here. And it continues, like now you don't even see who it is, but when we do, as a joke almost, it turns out to be a little, a shorter, scrawnier looking person than him. And he kind of like slithers his way into and everything, and then after a while, I don't think I made this clear, but the idea is that he is supposed to be, he's very imposing, very intimidating for this character, but he's shorter, smaller, scrawnier, but that's the whole idea. So when I made this, so whenever I showed this, I don't know if I got that across, but here, this is more like if you did like a Dutch camera angle where the camera is shifted a bit, so that's why it would look like he's taller, because it's like he's not, he's just, they're just at opposing edges, and he's like crawling, cowering technically. And this was sort of, I had a lot of fun. I don't know how well this can be shown, but it starts out, this is way later into this, but it starts out with a character opening up a door, and you see like all these ripped up newspaper sheets that are on the floor. And it was, again, I was telling you without telling you what's going on with this story, without actually telling you, like, local arcade opens, Grant Deal, sort of reference the video game Crash from 1983. What is it? Yeah, 83 from Atari. And this, how the store got closed and everything. And you see this one character, not entirely in shadow, just kind of walking out inside. Fun fact with this one, originally I had a whole other character, because I was kind of uncertain how I was gonna do this story, but I originally drew this with a whole different character in mind. It was that rounder, pudgier guy I was drawing, but it didn't really make but when as I was developing this, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to add this character in, so I actually took like a little piece of like copy paper, glued and taped around over here, and a little bit of here, and I just redrew this whole character as is. So and you can even kind of see a little bit, because the edges are kind of like a little bit much, and even around in the back you can see the back of the other character's face. So, and again, more shadow work here, crack, turns, what's this, and then he throws, and then you see like this character not in shadow and everything. But again, I just love where it's just full black and all you see is like the desk, the character, and like the newspaper. I think that's just, I don't know, I really get into this stuff, and it makes it look even better when it actually gets in color and everything. First thing I want to say is, so this is what I've been doing, this is what I did before I started drawing. I just did like a little thumbnail of these pages. Sometimes I have a good idea, other times I really just gonna have to just sketch out like what the beats, so I can get an idea of what I'm wanting to say. But for this one, for example, like it starts out with like a little, I don't know where I can see this, it starts out with like a character reacting to like a large sound. This character gets out of the room and notices it, and then you see her progression as she's walking up the stairs and opening the door and everything. And had I just drawn that, it would have been perfectly fine. But I always like to add a little more something, make it look more unique. So instead of just drawing it as I did, but just with a lot better, instead of having like all these panels just to show that they're going up, that this character is going upstairs, I just drew the entire staircase, you know, an entire room with her, you know, making her way up there, you know, drawing multiple versions of the character as she's drawing up there. Something, I don't know how well it showed here, but on this one, you know, the little sound that makes her react is going like pop, like something happened. And I didn't really know if that was even going to use that. If it's like going to be like a large sound or just someone saying it. Officially, I went and said like someone just, you know, out of screen just saying jackpot. And that's how we see how we continue it. And mind you, all I knew is that this page right here, I drew this panel before anything else, before I even knew what I was gonna make. So I drew this first, and then I came up with what I was gonna come up with, and then I drew the rest. Yeah, sorry about that cut. I had, you know, lunchtime. Anyway, so and I drew this panel before anything else because I knew the next page was gonna be a big reveal of this arcade cabinet right here, because this is the big thing for this movie. And as you can see, for all these characters that you see in backlit shadows, now you see them in full detail, you know, and everything. They were really fun to, you know, come up to design. I don't know, you could say, I don't know, it seemed like you can get a lot of an idea of who these people are just by looking at them. And then when you see them completely fully in great detail, but now you see this character is in full shadow, almost like now she's in the dark of everything. And then you just see just these three panels of them trying to pull this arcade cabinet out there. I don't really want to share too much about this one, but let's just say they opened up the arcade cabinet at some point. It's gonna be weird. I don't want to give away too much, but at the same time, I mean, that is kind of exactly what I'm doing. But whatever. Not much else to say. It's just like, it's just the really big reveal of what's to come, and then you see like all the shadows. You see all these other characters that are completely, you know, in the dark as well. You could do more with showing less, is what I'm getting at. You see like the two characters in shadow and everything. And then it ends with, you know, her taking a step. I haven't made it to the next page that leads to that, but and there's a whole lot to really say about this. A whole 16 panel. I was actually wanting to see if I could do 16 panels on the opener page, because I was thinking, looking back at what I heard from the Watchmen graphic novel, where it started out with 16 panels, or was it Dark Knight Returns? One of the two. But with Watchmen, the whole cover for each issue would be a snapshot of how it would start out. So let's say like the first issue of Watchmen, and you just see like the smiley face pin with stroke of blood, and then the first page is just seeing that smiley face pin just, you know, getting farther and farther away until you see like the top of the building. I wanted to get something similar to that, but I just didn't really have a whole lot to really say with just 16 panels. But this one, I felt like I did, because it's just all these characters getting sucked into like this doorways until eventually they're all sucked in. And finally, it ends with just, well, this one issue anyways, ends with the big door just slamming into them, never to be heard from. Or will they? I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna do this daily, or maybe just like 2 days a week or something like that. But I actually want to show progress on stuff that I've been trying to make for a while now. So hell, maybe I might be doing work, but might not even really show you. Just want to, I don't know, talk about with what's on my mind. So I don't know. But all in all, try to get more comfortable talking with you, and felt like, you know, the one thing I feel comfortable talking about is just the work that I make. So Until next time.